Good morning, Pittsburgh. You're listening to Maximize Living Radio. I'm Dr. Alex Pattison, on air with Dr. Aaron Greiner. And as always, this morning, we're here to teach you, to inspire you, and to coach you to your maximize living potential. We got a really important topic that we got to discuss with Pittsburghers this morning. And the reason why it's important is because of the severity and the amount of Americans that this particular disease process is affecting. Right now, we see 25 million Americans suffering from an autoimmune condition. That makes 1 in 6 people who live within the confines of the United States struggles with an autoimmune condition. It's the third most common category of illness in the United States outside of heart disease and cancer. And autoimmune conditions, if you're not familiar with those, perhaps you've heard of some of the conditions that are autoimmune in nature. That'd be a problem with your thyroid, Graves' disease, multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, just to name a few of these diseases. But the topic can actually get a little bit more interesting and a little bit more involving of Americans, because right now we're on the cusp beginning to understand that things like allergies and asthma are actually autoimmune conditions in nature. So we're looking at an additional 75 million Americans, 100 million Americans total, that are suffering from a disease process that is manifesting by an immune condition that's gotten out of control. We're going to leave no stone unturned this morning as we discuss autoimmune conditions and how you can begin to naturally combat these at home and be able to allow your body to heal. You can't afford to miss a single second of this morning's program. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Maximize Living Radio. That was Dr. Aaron Greiner. I'm Dr. Alex Pattison. We're discussing autoimmune conditions and how you can begin to naturally allow your body to overcome and to heal these very debilitating disease processes that so many Americans are dealing with. Now, it may seem strange, but one of the main culprits for such an increase, such a drastic increase in autoimmune conditions over the last 50 years is sterilization. Yes, the very thing that we've been told to lead to believe us and keeping us healthy, sterilization, is in fact one of the driving forces and driving factors of an autoimmune condition. Everything from the use of antibacterial soaps in the bathrooms that we're using, from modern agricultural practices, the way that the vast majority of Americans are consuming their food these days, and on top of that, the extreme amount of times that we're spending inside in sterilized environments as opposed to interacting with our environment has weakened our immune systems in such a way that we're simply overprotecting ourselves from what used to be very normal and common pathogens that the human body was experiencing. Think about it. Not too long ago, the majority of the food that an individual would have been consumed would have been produced in our own communities. Not only produced in our own communities, oftentimes produced in your own backyard, picked by yourself the day that you're going to consume it. But now just think about the way that we consume our food here in the United States is oftentimes the food that we're consuming certainly wasn't picked by ourselves, oftentimes wasn't even picked within the United States, and has been shipped halfway across the world, picked weeks ago by the time that we finally consume it. Because it's been such a long time between when the food is picked to the time that we consume it, this food is over-sterilized, it's sprayed with pesticides and chemicals in order to keep it ripe as long as possible, so that by the time it gets to the grocery store, it still looks appetizing. Well, there's problems as a result of the way that we're producing our food. It's destroying our immune system, it's destroying our guts, and it's causing the overpopulance of such a disease process, such as autoimmune, to take place in our society. Let's take a separate approach to that. Not only are we feeding our bodies improperly, which we're going to show you how to naturally feed your body without having to grow all of your food in your backyard. Don't worry, that's not going to be our first recommendation whenever you come to see us at our Autoimmune Answers event coming up here in just a few short weeks. But second, that we've bought into the fact and the idea that mankind is superior to the intelligence that's inside of the human body. And as a result of this backwards way of thinking that man is smarter than the infinite who created us is one of the leading culprits, again, of not only autoimmune diseases, which we're discussing with you this morning, but all diseases across the board that the human species is dealing with on a day in and day out basis. Think about this. Every time that the average person has a sniffle, whether it's you, your child, or your grandchild, we think, oh, well, that sniffle's a bad thing, and we run to the medicine cabinet and we grab a decongestant in order to make those sniffles go away. But there's a reason why God gave us the gift of sniffles. If there's a bacteria, a virus, or a microbe within our sinus passages, the body is going to wall that off with mucus, and that mucus is going to come out of our nose. Now, we start to think that we're smarter than this divine creation that put inside of us, this amazing healing property of mucus coming out of the nose, and we instantly think that man is smarter than that. We take a decongestant. What do we keep in the body longer? The very microbe that the body's trying to get rid of. We have a cough. There's a microbe inside of the lungs, and the body wants to get that off. We run and we grab a cough suppressant. We stop the cough, but we keep the virus and the microbe inside of the lungs, keeping us sicker longer and weakening our immune system. We have a digestive issue. Perhaps we're going to the bathroom a little bit more than we like, and there's some frequency there. So we grab an Imodium to stop our body from getting a virus, a bacteria, or a microbe out of our digestive system, leaving that pathogen inside of the body, weakening our immune system and making us sicker. Every time that we have a fever, we run to the medicine cabinet and we take a Tylenol because we're afraid of that fever. But why does the body have a fever? Why did God make us have fevers? Because as that body heats up, it literally cooks off and kills the microbe that's inside of the body. So perhaps right now you yourself aren't suffering from an autoimmune condition, maybe an undiagnosed autoimmune condition, but perhaps you yourself, this is how you take care of your body, and you're beginning to think as we're having this discussion is, well, maybe this isn't the best way to take care of our body. Maybe everything that I've been told about how to treat the common cold or a digestive issue is wrong, and I am literally interfering with my body's innate ability to heal. If you suffer from an autoimmune condition or you find yourself in the medicine cabinet every time that your body is expressing a symptom, this is not just a workshop. This is a dinner brunch event, which means that we're going to give you the amazing information that you need to overcome an autoimmune condition, but at the same time, we're going to be feeding you an amazing, healthy meal to show you how to repopulate that body, strengthen your immune system, and get you back on track to health. In a few short moments that we have remaining, Dr. Aaron, I just want to encourage our listeners to understand a couple of different things. One, autoimmune conditions are extremely common in the United States. Two, by no means are they normal. This is not something that a human being should be suffering from. The severity of an autoimmune condition just by nature is mind-blowing. Literally, what's happening is your body is recognizing itself as foreign and attacking it. Rheumatoid arthritis, attacking the joint spaces. Thyroid condition, whether that's hypo, hyper, Hashimoto's, Graves', literally attacking the thyroid itself. Irritable bowel, the body recognizing the bowel as foreign and attacking it. So when we begin to understand autoimmune conditions for what they are, the body is so confused, so out of whack and out of that homeostasis that you were discussing earlier in the show, that it's recognizing itself as foreign and attacking it with the full force of the immune system and drastically decreasing an ability to have a profound, healthy, vibrant life. We need to understand that, yes, your neighbor may have the same problem, but the likelihood of your health maintaining, the likelihood of you living to a ripe old age with one of these conditions, it's just not congruent with life when the body is attacking its own organ systems in such a drastic way. So if you're suffering from an autoimmune condition and you think you have it under control with the medications that your doctors have put you on, you may today, but there's going to be a time in the not too distant future when there's no medication on the planet that's going to be able to get your body to recognize itself as itself, and we're just going to eat ourselves away. So if you're dealing with one of these conditions, I'm imploring you to get yourself plugged in for our Autoimmune Answers Community Dinner Workshop in 2 locations coming up over the next couple of weeks right here in Pittsburgh. Your first opportunity is going to be in Cranberry Township with Dr. Aaron Greiner and Dr. Nick Greiner on Sunday, March 19th at 1 o'clock at Bravo Family Restaurant. no worries if that day, that time doesn't work for you. In the South Hills, you can join me on Monday, March 27th at 6:30 p.m. at Gianna Villa's Family Restaurant. Hey, if you like what you hear, you like what we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, and you'd like the opportunity to have maximized living in your church, we'd love the opportunity to sit down with you and show you how we'd love to transform the health of your congregation. God bless. Have an amazing weekend. Be sure to tune in again next week, and we hope to see you at Autoimmune. Take care, Pittsburgh.